Have you ever imagined that a simple ingredient from your kitchen could hide mystical and spiritual secrets? Today we invite you to explore the intriguing world of olive oil. Known for centuries for its health properties, this golden elixir has also been considered a symbol of power and protection in various cultures. But what else lies behind its use in ancient rituals and spiritual practices? Why has it been seen as taboo in certain contexts? Get ready to uncover surprising revelations that will transform your understanding of this everyday ingredient. From its connection to the divine to its ability to elevate spiritual energy, olive oil may be much more than you thought. Join us on this journey to unravel the mysteries surrounding this fascinating elixir and its potential as a spiritual tool. The history of olive oil goes back thousands of years and is steeped in symbolism, mysticism, and spiritual meanings that transcend its culinary use. Have you ever wondered if this golden liquid could be more than just a simple condiment? Today, we will embark on a fascinating journey to discover if olive oil is truly a forbidden spiritual weapon. Since antiquity, olive oil has been revered in various cultures, not only for its health benefits, but also for its connection to the divine. In many traditions, it is believed to hold power that goes beyond the physical, becoming a symbol of purity, protection, and abundance. However, this same oil that is used to dress salads or prepare gourmet dishes has also been surrounded by taboos and myths that invite reflection. What secrets lie behind its use in spiritual rituals? Why do some cultures consider it a forbidden element in certain contexts? Throughout this video, we will unravel the rich history of olive oil, exploring its symbolism in sacred scriptures and analyzing its uses in esoteric practices and protection rituals. But we won't stop at what has been said about olive oil. We will also reveal how you can use it effectively in your own life, not only as a culinary ingredient, but also as a tool for spiritual protection. Stay with us until the end, because we will uncover surprising practices and methods that you can implement to harness its power. By the end of our journey, you'll have a new perspective on this ancient elixir, as well as practical tools to protect yourself from negative energies that may surround you. So if you're ready to dive into the intriguing world of olive oil and its secrets, join me as we uncover the mystery of why this oil is considered in some circles to be a forbidden spiritual weapon. Let's start this journey together. The history of olive oil. Olive oil has been a fundamental element of Mediterranean culture since ancient times, a gift from nature that has accompanied humanity throughout history. From its origins in the Near East, where olives were first cultivated, to becoming a symbol of wealth and prosperity, this golden liquid has played a crucial role in daily life and spirituality. However, its importance goes far beyond gastronomy. In various cultures, olive oil has been considered a link between the human and the divine, a substance with unique properties that can influence the spiritual world. Throughout history, olive oil has been used not only as food, but also as an agent of purification and healing. In ancient Greece, for example, it held special significance in religious ceremonies and initiation rites. The Greeks believed that olive oil symbolized wisdom and light, and it was used to anoint kings and heroes. This act of anointing was seen as a way to invoke the protection and blessing of the gods and was performed with great reverence and solemnity. In the religious realm, olive oil holds a prominent place in sacred scriptures. It is mentioned numerous times in the Bible, especially in the context of anointing and consecration. In the book of Exodus, for example, Moses received instructions from God to prepare a sacred oil that would be used to anoint priests and consecrate the tabernacle. This oil was not merely a common product, it was attributed divine power, and its use in sacred rituals symbolized the connection between the earthly and the celestial. The symbolism of olive oil is not limited to its use in religious rituals. Throughout history, many cultures have recognized its value as a spiritual protector. In esoteric traditions, olive oil is seen as a means to ward off negative energies and provide protection against evil forces. Its purity and connection to nature are said to give it special properties that can transform a space and create a sacred environment. Therefore, it is commonly used in the creation of protective circles during magical rituals, where the aim is to establish a barrier to prevent unwanted influences. However, not everything associated with olive oil is positive. In some cultures, its use has been surrounded by taboos and restrictions. For example, in certain contexts, olive oil, as a sacred element, is not to be used trivially or mundanely. This has led to the belief that improper use can bring negative consequences, creating an aura of mystery and respect around this substance. The restrictions on its use may seem severe, but they are grounded in the idea that olive oil is a vehicle of spiritual power that must be handled with care and reverence. Ancient alchemists also recognized the value of olive oil in their practices. For them, oil was not only a medium for creating potions, but also symbolized transformation and purification. In alchemy, it was believed that olive oil could aid in personal transformation, turning impurities into light and clarity. This use of oil as a purifying agent reflects a deep understanding of its spiritual power and its connection to vital energy. Today, many people still believe in the spiritual properties of olive oil. There are practices that invoke its power for protection and healing. For example, some traditions recommend anointing oneself with olive oil during meditations or personal healing rituals, believing that this can help cleanse the aura and protect against negative energies. This act is not merely symbolic. It is considered a way to connect with the divine and amplify the intention behind the ritual. Moreover, the anointing with olive oil is used in marriage ceremonies, where couples employ it as a symbol of eternal love and commitment. This act of anointing the couple with oil represents the union of their souls and the creation of a sacred bond. In this context, olive oil becomes a means of invoking divine blessing upon the relationship, strengthening the spiritual connection between the spouses. However, the use of olive oil as a spiritual tool is not without controversy. In some traditions, it is believed that its use in black magic rituals can trigger undesirable effects. It is said that combining olive oil with other elements, such as herbs or blood, can create a powerful bond with dark forces. This has led some cultures to view olive oil not only as a means of protection, but also as a potential channel for curses. The duality of olive oil as both a sacred and potentially dangerous element reflects the complexity of its symbolism in spirituality. While many see it as a protector, others warn of the care that must be taken in its use. This underscores the need for a conscious and respectful approach to olive oil, especially when it is used in spiritual practices. It is interesting to note that in many cultures, the act of sharing olive oil is a symbol of friendship and loyalty. In the Middle East, for example, offering a bit of olive oil to a guest is a gesture of hospitality and connection. This act of sharing is seen as a bond that transcends the material, strengthening ties between people. This view of olive oil as a symbol of unity and peace highlights its role in spirituality, as it is believed to help maintain harmony in interpersonal relationships. Thus, olive oil emerges as an element of great cultural and spiritual richness. Its presence in kitchens around the world is only a small part of its story. As we explore its deeper meanings, we begin to uncover the secrets it has held for centuries. From its use in ancient rituals to its place in everyday life, olive oil remains a symbol of connection, purity, and transformation. The journey toward understanding olive oil as a forbidden spiritual weapon invites reflection on how we interact with the world around us. It reminds us that even the simplest, most everyday elements can carry profound meaning and powerful secrets waiting to be revealed. Now, as we delve into the intriguing world of olive oil, we keep our minds open to the possibilities it can offer, not only physically, but also spiritually. The symbolism of olive oil. Olive oil is much more than just a kitchen ingredient. It is a symbol that has accompanied humanity throughout history, loaded with deep meanings and power that many are unaware of. This golden liquid has been revered since ancient times, not only for its nutritional properties, but also for its connection to the sacred and spiritual. From anointing ceremonies in ancient Greece to its use in modern healing rituals, olive oil has been considered a bridge between the divine and the earthly, a vehicle for purification and protection. The cultivation of the olive tree dates back thousands of years, with evidence of its presence in the Mediterranean and Near East. Olives have been part of the human diet since ancient times, but their value extends beyond food. In many cultures, olive oil symbolizes abundance and prosperity. Its use in rituals and ceremonies has been a fundamental part of the spiritual life of various civilizations. In ancient Greece, olive oil was believed to be a gift from the gods, particularly from Athena, the goddess of wisdom. This elixir was used to anoint heroes and kings, granting them a sacred status and protecting them in their battles. Throughout the centuries, olive oil has been mentioned in numerous sacred scriptures, where it is attributed with unique properties. In the Bible, for example, it describes how the prophet Samuel anointed David with olive oil, an act that marked the beginning of his reign. This anointing was not simply a symbolic ritual, it was an act of consecration that established David as God's chosen one. Anointing with olive oil thus became a symbol of the divine relationship between the anointed and the sacred. In the spiritual realm, olive oil has been used in esoteric practices and purification rituals. Many traditions believe that its purity and connection to nature give it the ability to absorb and transmute energies. For this reason, olive oil is commonly used to create protective circles in magical rituals, where the goal is to establish a sacred space that prevents negative influences from entering. This use of oil is not merely symbolic. It is considered a powerful act that helps create an environment conducive to connection with the divine. However, olive oil is also shrouded in myths and taboos that have arisen throughout history. In some cultures, its use in rituals has been restricted or considered inappropriate. These beliefs are based on the idea that olive oil, when used trivially, can lose its sacred power. This careful approach to oil reflects a deep spiritual respect and the need to handle it with care. The ancient alchemists also recognized the value of olive oil in their practices. For them, oil was not only a medium for making potions, but also symbolized transmutation and purification. In the alchemical context, olive oil was seen as an agent that could assist in the process of personal transformation. Alchemists believed that by purifying oil, one could achieve greater clarity and spiritual connection. This use of oil as a means of transformation reflects the depth of its symbolism in spirituality. Today, many people still believe in the spiritual properties of olive oil. There are rituals that invoke its power for protection and healing. For example, some traditions suggest anointing oneself with olive oil during meditation practices, believing this can help cleanse the aura and protect against negative energies. This act is not merely symbolic. It is considered a way to connect with the divine and amplify the intention behind the ritual. Moreover, olive oil is used as a symbol of eternal love and commitment in marriage ceremonies. Anointing the couple with oil represents the union of their souls and the creation of a sacred bond. However, the use of olive oil as a spiritual tool is not without controversy. Some traditions warn that using it in black magic rituals can have negative consequences. When combined with other elements like herbs or natural components, olive oil can be used to create a bond with dark forces. This aspect of olive oil as a medium for evil reflects the duality of its symbolism, where it can be a protector or a channel for curses, depending on how it is used. The tradition of sharing olive oil also carries deep meaning. In the Middle East, offering a bit of oil to a visitor is a gesture of hospitality and connection. This act not only symbolizes generosity, but also strengthens bonds between people. This aspect of olive oil as a symbol of unity and peace highlights its role in spirituality, as it is believed to help maintain harmony in relationships. As we explore the meaning of olive oil, we realize it is an element of great cultural and spiritual wealth. Its presence in our kitchens is only a small part of its history. Its connection to the sacred and the spiritual is a reminder that even the simplest elements can hold profound meanings and secrets waiting to be uncovered. The journey toward understanding olive oil as a forbidden spiritual weapon invites us to reflect on how we interact with the world around us. It reminds us that the everyday can be a vehicle for transformation and connection. Now, as we delve into the intriguing world of olive oil, we keep an open mind to the spiritual possibilities it may offer. Olive oil presents itself not only as a food ingredient, but also as a symbol of connection with the divine. As we explore its history, uses, and symbolism, we begin to uncover the secrets it has guarded throughout the centuries, reminding us that the simplest elements can conceal powerful mysteries and meanings that transcend time and space. The ancient Greeks considered it a gift from the gods, especially from Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war. Its value in Greek culture was such that olive oil was not only a staple food, but was also used in anointing ceremonies to mark the consecration of heroes and leaders. This use of oil in rituals was seen as a means to invoke the protection and blessing of the gods, establishing a sacred bond between the anointed and the divine. In a religious context, olive oil is mentioned numerous times in sacred scriptures. In the Bible, its use is closely related to anointing and consecration. For example, It describes how Moses received instructions from God to create a sacred oil intended to anoint the priests and consecrate the tabernacle. This oil was not merely a liquid, it was considered a means through which the divine could manifest in the physical world. The anointing with olive oil symbolized the relationship between God and his people, a reminder that the sacred resides in the everyday. Throughout the centuries, many cultures have continued to use olive oil in spiritual and esoteric rituals. Its purity and connection to nature bestow upon it a special power, manifested in its ability to absorb and transmute energies. Olive oil is frequently employed in the creation of protective circles during magical ceremonies, where the goal is to establish a sacred space that prevents negative influences from entering. The belief in the power of olive oil as a spiritual protector has endured, making it an essential element in esoteric practices. However, not everything associated with olive oil is positive. In some cultures, its use has been surrounded by taboos and restrictions. It is considered that oil, being sacred, should not be used frivolously or trivially. These beliefs reflect a deep understanding of its power and a respect for it. Ancient alchemists also recognized olive oil in their practices. For them, the oil was not just a medium for potion making, but represented purification. In alchemy, olive oil was seen as an agent that could facilitate personal transformation, helping those who used it to attain greater spiritual clarity. Today, many rituals utilize olive oil for healing and protection. Some traditions suggest anointing oneself with olive oil during meditation, believing that this can help cleanse the aura and protect against negative energies. This act is not merely symbolic. It is considered a way to establish a connection with the divine and amplify the intention behind the ritual. Moreover, olive oil has been used in wedding ceremonies, where couples apply it as a symbol of eternal love and commitment. By anointing each other with oil, they represent the union of their souls and the creation of a sacred bond. In this context, olive oil becomes a means of invoking divine blessing upon the relationship, strengthening the spiritual connection between spouses. However, the use of olive oil as a spiritual tool is not without controversy. In some traditions, warnings exist about its use triggering undesirable effects. When oil is combined with other elements, such as herbs or natural ingredients, it can lead to unintended consequences. This duality of olive oil as a protector and a potential channel for curses reflects the complexity of its symbolism in spirituality. As we explore, we realize that it is an element laden with cultural richness and history. Its connection to the sacred and the spiritual is a reminder that even the simplest elements can carry profound meanings and secrets. The everyday can be a vehicle for transformation and connection. Thus, olive oil invites us to recognize that the simplest elements can conceal powerful mysteries that transcend time and space. In many cultures, the act of sharing olive oil symbolizes friendship and loyalty. In the Middle East, for example, offering a bit of oil to a guest is a gesture of hospitality. This act not only symbolizes generosity, but also reinforces the bonds between people. Its role in spirituality is considered to help maintain harmony in interpersonal relationships. The tradition of sharing olive oil holds special significance in ceremonies and rituals. In some cultures, the oil is viewed as a divine gift that brings blessings and protection to those who receive it. This view has persisted over time, consolidating the idea that olive oil is not just a physical resource, but a spiritual element that can influence people's lives in profound and meaningful ways. In the context of healing, olive oil is often used in rituals aimed at cleansing the body and spirit. Its healing properties are said to help eliminate negative energies that may affect a person's well-being. Healing rituals that employ olive oil focus on the intention of restoring health and vitality by invoking the oil's energy to purify the body and soul. This practice reflects a deep understanding of how natural elements can be used to enhance the quality of life and promote spiritual balance. As we continue exploring the meaning of olive oil, it becomes evident that its influence extends beyond practical use. It invites us to consider how simple elements can contain ancestral wisdom passed down through generations. In a world where the spiritual aspects of everyday life are often overlooked, olive oil reminds us of the importance of connecting with our roots and recognizing the power that resides in the ordinary. This journey toward understanding the forbidden spiritual weapon leads us to reflect on our own relationship with the spiritual world and the importance of honoring the traditions that have preceded us. In doing so, we can open ourselves to new possibilities and discover the transformative potential that a simple bottle of olive oil can offer. Esoteric uses of olive oil. Olive oil is fundamental in the history of humanity, transcending its culinary use to become a powerful symbol of spiritual and cultural connection. From time immemorial, this golden elixir has been revered in various civilizations, associated not only with abundance and prosperity, but also with sacred and purification practices. As we delve into the fascinating world of olive oil, we discover that it is much more than just an ingredient in our kitchens. It is a vehicle of tradition and spirituality, laden with deep meanings that have endured over time. The origins of olive oil date back to ancient times, with evidence of its cultivation and use in regions such as the Mediterranean and the Near East. Olives have been part of the human diet for thousands of years, but their value extends beyond food. In ancient Greece, olive oil was considered a gift from the gods, especially from Athena, the goddess of wisdom. It was given a sacred status and was used in anointing ceremonies, where kings and warriors were anointed to invoke divine protection and blessing. This act was not merely a symbolic ritual, it was a way to establish a spiritual connection between the anointed and the sacred. In sacred scriptures, olive oil holds a prominent place and is mentioned numerous times in the Bible. For example, it narrates how Moses received instructions from God to create a special oil that would be used in the anointing of priests and the consecration of the tabernacle. This oil was not simply a common product, it served as a reminder to believers that the sacred can be found in the everyday. As we explore further into the symbolism of olive oil, we discover that its use extends beyond religious practices. In many cultures, olive oil has been used in esoteric and healing rituals. Its purity and connection to nature give it a special power that manifests in its ability to absorb and transmute energies. Olive oil is frequently used in magical circles, which seek to establish a sacred space that prevents the entry of negative influences. In this context, oil is considered a means to invoke positive energy and protect participants from adverse forces. However, the use of olive oil is not without taboos and restrictions. In some cultures, it is believed that its use in rituals has been prohibited or restricted due to its sacred nature. The oil, being a powerful element, is considered not to be used frivolously or mundanely. These beliefs reflect a deep understanding of its significance and the need to approach it with respect and reverence. The duality of olive oil manifests in its ability to act as a spiritual protector, but also as a potential channel for curses if used incorrectly. Ancient alchemists incorporated olive oil into their practices. For them, it symbolized transmutation and was seen as an agent that could assist in the process of personal transformation, facilitating the path to enlightenment. This use of oil as a means for transformation reflects a profound understanding of its symbolism in the spiritual realm. Today, many people continue to believe in the spiritual properties of olive oil for protection and healing. For example, some traditions suggest anointing oneself with olive oil during meditation, believing that it enhances the ritual. Moreover, olive oil is used in wedding ceremonies as a symbol of eternal love and commitment. However, its use is not without controversy. In some traditions, warnings exist that its use in black magic rituals can trigger unwanted effects and create a bond with dark forces. This aspect of olive oil as a means of cursing reflects the complexity of its spiritual symbolism. The tradition of sharing olive oil also carries profound meaning in the Middle East. Offering a little oil to a visitor is a gesture of hospitality that reinforces bonds between people. This aspect of olive oil as a symbol of unity and peace highlights its role in helping to maintain harmony in interpersonal relationships. In the realm of healing, olive oil has been employed to cleanse the body and spirit. Its healing properties are said to help eliminate negative energies that may affect a person's well-being. The use of olive oil as a tool for protection is also a notable aspect. Many traditions teach that spreading olive oil in certain places can create a field of protective energy. This practice is carried out in homes and sacred spaces, creating a barrier that dispels negative influences. By applying oil to doors and windows, a spiritual shield is established that preserves peace and harmony in the environment. This ritual use of olive oil underscores its importance in the daily lives of those seeking protection from adverse forces. Ceremonies and rituals involving olive oil also highlight its role in purification. In many cultures, olive oil is believed to possess the capacity to cleanse not only the physical body, but also the spirit. Purification rituals that include the use of olive oil are conducted to release accumulated negative energies and restore balance. This holistic approach to purification reflects a deep understanding of the interconnectedness between body, mind, and spirit. Ancient traditions have left an indelible mark on how olive oil is perceived today. Its symbolism as a means of spiritual connection has endured through the centuries, keeping alive the belief in its power. Nowadays, many people seeking a spiritual approach to their lives continue to incorporate olive oil into their daily practices, whether through meditation rituals, healing ceremonies, or simply as a symbolic gesture during moments of reflection. Olive oil has become a key element in the quest for deeper purpose. This journey toward understanding olive oil as a forbidden spiritual weapon leads us to reflect on our own relationship with the spiritual world. It reminds us that the everyday can be a connection. As we explore the meaning of olive oil, we begin to realize that its significance transcends time and space. The connection between olive oil and spirituality is a reminder that everyday life can be filled with profound meanings. Each bottle of olive oil we use can be seen not only as a culinary resource, but as a source of power and connection with the divine. In a world where the spiritual aspects of daily life are often overlooked, olive oil invites us to consider how simple elements can serve as reminders of the abundance and spiritual richness that surrounds us. By exploring the esoteric and biblical teachings about olive oil, we begin to unveil its hidden potential. This journey leads us to discover how it can be used to transform our reality and protect our homes and families. By using olive oil with clear intention and faith, we can open ourselves to the possibility that this simple culinary ingredient can become a powerful spiritual tool capable of guiding us in moments of need and transformation. Olive oil connects us to a rich spiritual tradition that transcends generations. It reminds us that even in the mundane, there is space for spirituality and connection with the divine. This ancestral wisdom invites us to be mindful of how we interact with the world around us and to recognize the power that resides in the simplest elements of our lives. Thus, olive oil becomes a symbol of unity between the physical and the spiritual, a reminder that the sacred can be found in the most unexpected places, waiting to be discovered by those willing to explore and honor its significance. Olive oil and spiritual protection. Throughout history, olive oil has been a deeply revered substance, not only for its practical value in the kitchen, but also for its symbolic and spiritual significance. From ancient Mediterranean civilizations to modern practices, olive oil has been considered a gift from the gods, a healing tool, and a symbol of purification. Although we may view it today as a simple ingredient, it hides a power and symbolism that many have ignored or underestimated. As we unravel the layers of its history, we begin to understand why olive oil has been valued as a sacred substance and, in some cases, prohibited in certain spiritual rituals. The roots of olive oil trace back millennia to the Mediterranean and Near Eastern regions. The cultivation of the olive tree was one of the earliest advancements in agriculture, and it has been associated with prosperity and abundance ever since. However, its value was not merely economic. The ancient Greeks, for example, believed that the olive tree was a gift from Athena, the goddess of wisdom, which conferred upon it a divine status. This tree not only provided food and oil, but also symbolized peace and protection. In times of war, Greek warriors would anoint themselves with olive oil before battles, hoping to receive the blessing of the gods and the strength necessary to triumph in combat. The use of olive oil was not limited to military contexts. In ancient Greece and Rome, it was a central element in religious rituals. It was used in anointing ceremonies to consecrate leaders and priests, and in some cases, even to seal sacred pacts. Anointing with olive oil symbolized the connection between the divine and the human, an act that conferred protection and sanctity. The Greeks also used it in sporting competitions, anointing athletes before the events as a way to purify and prepare them for physical challenges. This act of anointing had not only a practical purpose, but was also seen as a way to invoke divine intervention in earthly matters. In sacred scriptures, olive oil plays a significant role in the Bible, mentioned multiple times, especially in the context of the anointing of kings and prophets. The book of Samuel, for instance, recounts how the prophet anointed David with olive oil to designate him as king of Israel. This act of anointing was not merely symbolic. It was believed that the oil carried with it the power of God, imparting his protection and guidance to the anointed person. In fact, the word Messiah in Hebrew means the anointed, highlighting the importance of this act in religious tradition. Olive oil also played a crucial role in the Temple of Jerusalem, where it was used to light the lamps of the sacred menorah. This candelabrum, which burned with pure olive oil, symbolized eternal light and the divine presence in the world. The oil that fed this light became a means of maintaining the connection between the celestial and the earthly. It is not surprising that the purity of the oil was so strictly monitored. Any impurity in the oil symbolized a rupture in that sacred connection. In addition to its use in rituals, olive oil has been valued in many esoteric traditions. In alchemy, for example, it was believed that olive oil had transformative properties capable of purifying the soul and elevating the spirit. Alchemists considered that oil, like other elements, could be refined to achieve a pure and perfect form. This purification process reflected the spiritual journey of the individual, who through introspection and self-knowledge could reach enlightenment. In this context, olive oil was a symbol of spiritual transformation, a reminder that the soul, like the oil, could be refined and purified. In many cultures, olive oil has also been used in magical practices. Ancient sorcerers and healers employed it in rituals of protection and purification, believing it could absorb and neutralize negative energies. By applying oil at strategic points in a house or sacred space, it was thought that a protective barrier against evil was created. This use of olive oil in various esoteric traditions remains a common practice in some magical circles today. However, not all associations with olive oil are positive. In some traditions, warnings exist that its use in dark rituals or black magic can have dangerous consequences. It is believed that by combining oil with other elements like herbs or blood, one could invoke dark forces and trigger curses. This duality of olive oil as a protector and a potential vehicle for curses reflects its complexity in the spiritual realm. Throughout the centuries, olive oil has maintained its place in daily life, not only as a food, but also as a symbol of unity and peace. In the Middle East, for instance, sharing olive oil is seen as an act of friendship. Offering oil to a visitor establishes a bond of trust and mutual respect. This act of sharing carries deep meaning, as olive oil is viewed as a symbol of abundance and prosperity. By sharing it, one expresses the desire for abundance and peace to prevail in interpersonal relationships. The use of olive oil in wedding ceremonies also underscores its symbolic importance. In many cultures, spouses are anointed with oil as part of the nuptial ritual, an act that symbolizes the union of their souls and the establishment of a sacred bond. In this context, oil becomes a means to invoke divine protection over the couple and ensure that their relationship is blessed. This use of olive oil in marital rituals reflects its capacity to touch the physical and spiritual realms, establishing a human connection. Healing practices involving olive oil have also been an important part of its history. Since ancient times, it has been used to treat wounds and ailments, not only for its medicinal properties, but also for its ability to purify and heal the spirit. Healers would apply olive oil to the affected areas of the body, believing that its healing properties could restore both physical and spiritual health. This practice remains common in some cultures, where olive oil is seen as a means to cleanse the body and soul of impurities and negative energies. The protective power of olive oil also manifests in its use to create spiritual barriers. Sprinkling oil around a house or sacred place has been a practice for centuries to protect the space from malevolent forces. By applying oil, a spiritual shield is established that prevents the entry of dark forces. This practice reflects the oil's role as a spiritual guardian, maintaining peace and harmony in the environment. The tradition of anointing with oil also has deep roots in Christianity. In the Catholic Church, blessed olive oil is used in sacraments such as baptism and the anointing of the sick. These rituals, which involve applying oil to the forehead or hands, symbolize the purification and protection of the soul. The use of oil in these contexts underscores its significance as a symbol of divine grace and spiritual intervention. As we explore the symbolism of olive oil, we realize that its meaning transcends time and cultures. What may initially seem like a simple culinary ingredient is, in fact, a powerful symbol of purification and transformation. In many traditions, olive oil has been valued for its ability to connect humans with the divine, acting as a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds. The journey toward understanding olive oil as a forbidden spiritual weapon leads us to reflect on our relationship with the elements around us. It reminds us that the everyday can be imbued with profound meanings, and that, like olive oil, the simplest objects can conceal power and symbolism that transcend the obvious. Through the history of olive oil, we discover that its value lies not only in its physical properties, but in its capacity to serve as a means of spiritual transformation. The taboos and prohibitions surrounding olive oil reflect its role as an element that has accompanied humanity throughout its journey, becoming a symbol of culture, wealth, and spirituality. This golden liquid has been valued not only for its culinary properties, but also for its significance in various traditions and rituals. In many civilizations, olive oil has been considered a divine gift, and its use in sacred practices has endured through the centuries, carrying with it secrets and mysteries that invite reflection. The origins of olive oil trace back thousands of years, with evidence of its cultivation in the Mediterranean region. This ancient tree, the olive, has been a symbol of life and abundance since antiquity. In classical Greece, olive oil was not only used for food, but also played a sacred role in society. It was common to anoint athletes with oil before competitions, a ritual that symbolized the invocation of protection and blessings from the gods. This practice reflected the belief in the power of olive oil to offer strength and clarity in times of challenge. In sacred scriptures, olive oil is mentioned repeatedly, highlighting its importance in a religious context. In the Bible, for example, it recounts how the prophet Samuel anointed David with olive oil, marking his consecration as king of Israel. This act of anointing was not only a symbol of power, but also represented the divine connection between the anointed one and the sacred. The belief was that the oil, when applied, carried with it God's blessing, protecting the king and guiding him in his leadership. Olive oil has also been valued in the context of healing. Throughout history, it has been used to treat illnesses and wounds, not only for its healing properties, but also for its ability to purify and protect the spirit. In many cultures, it was believed that the oil could absorb negative energies, helping to restore balance in both body and soul. Healers often applied olive oil in healing rituals, trusting in its power to cleanse and heal. In addition to its use in healing rituals, olive oil has been a central element in the creation of sacred spaces. Many traditions have used the oil to consecrate places and objects, invoking its energy to establish a connection with the divine. It is common to anoint the altar or sacred space with olive oil at the beginning of a ritual, creating a conducive environment for the manifestation of the sacred. This ritual use of oil reflects a profound understanding of the relationship between the physical and spiritual worlds, recognizing that elements of nature can be utilized to facilitate this connection. The duality of olive oil as a symbol of purity, and also as a potential vehicle for curses, has been a subject of debate in various cultures. While its capacity to protect and heal is valued, it is also recognized that its misuse can lead to undesirable outcomes. In some traditions, olive oil is thought to be used in dark rituals, creating a connection with malevolent forces. This aspect of the oil as a possible source of negative energy highlights the importance of conscious and respectful use, reminding us that every action has its consequences. In the realm of spirituality, olive oil has maintained its place as a symbol of unity and connection. In many cultures, the act of sharing olive oil is seen as an act of friendship. Offering a bit of oil to a visitor is not only a generous act, but also reinforces bonds of trust and respect between people. This practice reflects the belief that olive oil, being a valuable resource, can contribute to peace and well-being. During wedding rituals, couples often anoint each other with oil, symbolizing the union of their souls and the establishment of a sacred bond. This act of anointing not only represents love and commitment, but is also considered an invocation of divine protection over the relationship. In this context, olive oil serves to ensure that the couple is under the blessing of the sacred, strengthening their spiritual connection. As society evolves, olive oil continues to be a relevant element in the daily lives of many people. Its culinary uses are widely known, but those seeking a spiritual approach to life have also found ways to incorporate olive oil into their practices. Moments of reflection have turned olive oil into a valuable resource in the quest for a deeper purpose. The history of olive oil serves as a reminder that the everyday can be profound. Each bottle of oil we use can be viewed not only as a culinary resource, but as a symbol of connection to the divine. In a world where the spiritual aspects of daily life are often overlooked, olive oil invites us to recognize the sacredness surrounding us. This journey toward understanding the forbidden spiritual significance of olive oil prompts reflection on our own relationship with the world around us. It reminds us that the ordinary can be a vehicle for connection. As we explore the meaning of olive oil, we begin to realize that even the simplest elements carry meanings that transcend time and space. Olive oil is not just a kitchen ingredient, but a symbol of unity, abundance, and connection with the divine. By learning about its history and uses, we open ourselves to the possibility that this golden liquid has much more to offer than simply enriching our dishes. At the end of the day, olive oil serves as a reminder of the wisdom found in the ordinary, and how, through conscious use, we can transform our reality and our relationship with the spiritual world around us. Its ability to soften, hydrate, and promote health has made it a valuable resource in people's daily lives. Olive oil has also been a central element in esoteric practices. In many spiritual traditions, olive oil is believed to have magical properties and is used in rituals of protection and purification, as it is thought to absorb negative energies. By spreading olive oil in a sacred space or home, a protective shield is created that helps keep adverse influences at bay. This belief in the power of olive oil to protect and purify has been passed down through generations, making it an indispensable element in many spiritual practices. However, the use of olive oil is not without controversy. In some traditions, warnings are given about the dangers of its use in dark rituals. It is believed that by combining olive oil with other elements such as herbs or specific ingredients, one can invoke malevolent forces. This duality of olive oil, as both a protector and a potential vehicle for curses, emphasizes the need for conscious and respectful use. Throughout history, the importance of the intention behind the use of olive oil has been highlighted, as it can determine the outcome of any ritual. As societies have evolved, olive oil has maintained its place in contemporary culture. Today, many people continue to use olive oil not only as a culinary ingredient, but also as a spiritual resource. Modern rituals invoke its power for healing, protection, and purification. By anointing with olive oil during meditation, many believe they can open themselves to a connection with the divine, thus promoting a sense of peace and well-being. This practice reflects the search for deeper meaning in everyday life, where olive oil becomes a symbol of abundance and spiritual connection. In addition to its use in meditation and healing, olive oil is also employed in wedding ceremonies. During these rituals, couples anoint each other, which represents not only love and commitment, but also serves as an invocation of divine protection over the relationship. In this context, olive oil acts as a means for blessing the sacred, strengthening their spiritual and emotional connection. The act of sharing olive oil also carries deep significance in many cultures. Offering a bit of oil to a visitor is a gesture of hospitality and friendship. This act not only symbolizes generosity, but also reinforces interpersonal bonds. By sharing olive oil, a connection is established that goes beyond the physical, creating a spiritual bond between individuals. The history of olive oil is largely a story of connection. Throughout the centuries, it has been a valuable resource that nourishes not only the body, but also the soul. Cultures have recognized its power and symbolism, using it in rituals that have endured over time. This connection between olive oil and spirituality invites reflection on how we interact with the world around us. Olive oil has been a revered elixir throughout history, a symbol of abundance, health, and spirituality. Since its cultivation in antiquity, this golden liquid has played a crucial role in the food, medicine, and rituals of various cultures. Its significance goes beyond being simply a kitchen ingredient, as it is imbued with symbolism and tradition, making it a fundamental element in the lives of many people. The ancient Greeks regarded olive oil as a source of wisdom. This elixir was used not only in food, but also in religious ceremonies and purification rituals. Warriors anointed themselves with olive oil before battles, seeking divine protection and strength to face challenges. This act of anointing held not just symbolic value, but represented the connection between the human and the sacred. Olive oil also occupies a prominent place in sacred scriptures. In the Bible, it is mentioned several times, particularly by the prophets. For example, the prophet Samuel anointed David with olive oil, marking his consecration as king of Israel. This ritual symbolized divine choice and the spiritual connection between the anointed and the sacred. Thus, olive oil becomes a channel through which God's blessings are manifested. In addition to its ritual use, olive oil has been valued for its healing properties. Ancient cultures understood that this oil could nourish the body and also heal the soul. Since ancient times, it has been used to treat wounds and illnesses, relying on its ability to cleanse and restore. Throughout history, it has maintained its place as an essential component in alternative medicine and herbalism. In many spiritual traditions, olive oil is considered a means to absorb negative energies and act as a spiritual protector. By spreading olive oil in a sacred space or home, a barrier is created that protects against adverse influences. This belief has endured over time, making it an indispensable element in esoteric and healing practices. However, there are also warnings about the use of olive oil in dark rituals. Some traditions believe that its inappropriate use can invoke negative forces. This duality emphasizes the importance of intention behind each ritual. The act of sharing olive oil also carries deep significance in many cultures. Offering oil is a gesture of hospitality that symbolizes friendship and loyalty. This act not only creates bonds of trust, but also reinforces the idea that olive oil is a symbol of unity and peace. Throughout history, this elixir has served as a means to strengthen interpersonal relationships and maintain harmony in communities. Reflecting on olive oil, it is evident that its meaning goes beyond the culinary. This golden liquid represents a connection with the divine and a reminder that spirituality can be found in the everyday. Each bottle of olive oil can be seen not only as a food resource, but also as a vehicle to invoke abundance and peace in our lives. By learning about its history and uses, we can appreciate the cultural and spiritual richness that olive oil represents. This journey encourages us to become more attuned to the elements in our environment and to acknowledge the power they hold. Olive oil is more than just an ingredient. It serves as a symbol of the connection between the physical and the spiritual realms. If you appreciated this exploration of the history and symbolism of olive oil, please consider subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Your support is vital for us to keep delivering content that delves into the mysteries and meanings of the elements that enrich our lives.